Guys, so I'm about to show you how you could sew your princess dart. If you're a beginner, you'd want to first pin it, but all you have to do is match up the bottom. You always start with the bottom, okay? Hello soulmates, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time being here, thank you for stopping by and thank you for clicking on this video. I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Yes, I did not wish you a happy new year on January 1st because that's not when I celebrate my new year. According to the Bible, the beginning of months is the month of Abib, and today is the 4th day of the month of Abib. So I'm just wishing everyone a happy new year. It is also this time of the year when we celebrate the Lord's Supper on the 14th day. So if you celebrate the Lord's Supper around this time, I want to wish you a happy supper and a wonderful one. And I hope that this year is the year that we really get so much closer to the Lord. Okay, so today is gonna be a beginners friendly one. Today I'm going to show you how you could take a basic bodice pattern and make a armhole princess dart style line. Now this is just for a beginner. Those who are more advanced would have an idea of how to do this, but if you want a refresher, keep on watching. Now this is my basic bodice pattern with a side dart. Now I've made many videos on how you could achieve this basic bodice, so I'm just gonna make a link if you do not know how to do it. But if you're struggling with princess dart style line, this is a video for you. Now there are many persons who said that after making their pattern, their princess dart pattern, it's either they have a shortage or it doesn't match or some other thing happened. Now today I'm going to show you how you could manipulate this basic bodice just with a waist dart and a bust dart to get a princess dart style line. Now I'm going to use my pencil first, okay, and then I'm going to use my marker to highlight the necessary parts. Now a princess dart can go to different places on the bodice. It could go to the shoulder and become a shoulder dart. It can also be taken right at the tip. So here, right at the tip of the shoulder slope, that is one place where the dart style line could be, right here. And from that one tip, you could come down 2 more inches or 2.5 more inches, and it could be there. And you can also come down, so that's a second place, 2.5 more inches, which is here. And you can also come down 2.5 more inches, which is here. So any of these 4 places, or this would include 5 places, would be okay for you to draw your princess style line. Now you can choose whichever place you want to place yours, but the common one that we usually use is this one that is in the center right here, number 3. So what you're going to do, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw from that, depending on where you want it, you're going to draw a line, okay? Now this line can be curved, so let me use this ruler, but you do not want it to be too curvy. Now when you make it too curvy, it tends to give a lot of trouble. So I'm going to use not the curvy part of my ruler, but the sort of straight part, and I'm gonna connect that 3 point to this point right here, to the bust dart point right here. And when you're drafting, soulmates, it's important that you draft with a pencil. It's much easier. You could clean the line, but I'm gonna use my marker just because I want it to be visible. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna connect it to that point right there. Now, what you can do is you can determine how much dart you want to actually take out on this point. So here I'm going to take out 2 inches because I'm quite busty. So I'm going to take out 2 inches from my style line right here. I'm going to use a pencil, and then I'm going to connect it, okay? I'm going to connect it back to the bust point line to create what they call a dart. You're going to create a dart, okay? So when I am satisfied with that, I'm going to use my marker and, okay? So now I've created my dart. Now, if you should go ahead and curve this up and do your thing and just cut it out, what you're going to find is that you're going to have a shortage right here. So you're going to extend this line, soulmates, by 2 inches, representing the 2 inches that you took out. You could take out 1.5 inches, you could take out 1 inch, but you shouldn't exceed 2 inches, okay, or 2.5 inches. So I'm going to extend this line all the way up, okay, and I'm going to ensure that I have my 2 inch here. So this is where my 2 inches stops right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw back this line right here, this armhole right there, the piece that I took off. I'm going to draw it back, okay? Okay, so this is what you're going to have. So now this will take care of any short edge that you might encounter. All right, so what I'm going to do, you can also do what they call matching your darts at the back right here. So you could also put a princess dart style line at the back. All you're going to do is you're going to make a connection. So I'm gonna use the midpoint here, right there, and I'm gonna connect it to 1 inch below my chest line where my dart stops, okay, 1 inch below my bust part where my dart stop. So like that. And I'm going to extend, to avoid shortage, you're going to extend this line by maybe about 1/2 inch. Okay, and you're going to redraw this right here. All right. So this is what you're going to have at the back. Now, what you're going to do, I'm going to cut this off, right? Before I cut this off, I'm going to contour the under the bust because I'm going to make this into a bustier pattern, okay? So what you need to do is, you could do 2 things. You could take the measurement of your underbust and put it right here. Or you could simply find out what you have at this point. So this, I have 3/4 inch on this dart leg. I'm going to go in 1/4 inch more. So it means then that I'm going to have 1 inch on this side, and I'm going to have 1 inch also. So I'm going to have on that side. And all you're going to do is take this, okay, and you're going to connect it to the dart leg right there. See that? And you're going to take this and you're going to connect it also to the dark lead right here. This will tighten the under bust area. Now, depends on what you really want. You could also go down from here 1 inch, but I'm not going to go down 1 inch from there, but I'm going to use my, and I'm going to connect it here. I'm still going to blend. It's important that you blend up all these sharp areas, and I'm going to show you how to go ahead and blend up those sharp areas. So see what I'm talking about? But you cannot just leave it somedays like this. You can't leave it like this. You have to blend, because what you're going to find is that it's going to be sharp. It's going to be sharp, and you don't want it to be sharp. You want it to lay nicely around those areas. So you're going to take your curved ruler and you're going to blend. All right? Blend. So all of this is going to go off. Now what I'm going to do, before I do this part, before I blend this part, I'm going to close my bust dart. Right? I'm going to close, so I'm going to just cut this off. Right? And I'm going to close this dart right here. Because I'm supposed to blend up that area. In order for you to close, just open this dart. Open this dart. So I'm gonna open this dart, the waist dart, up to the bust point, right there. And I'm gonna close this one right here. See that? I'm gonna just hold this down. So I've successfully closed my bust dart. So now that I've closed my bust dart, you have to contour this part. You can't leave it shifted like that. It's gonna shift, but don't worry. Just draw back the line. Okay? Draw it back. Okay? All right. So now this is what you're going to have. But before you do that, what I want you to do, I want you to double check this area. So what you're going to do, yikes. You're going to close this just to double check to see if you are on the right track. Okay? So when you close this, you're going to see that it's gonna be enough. It's gonna be enough for what you want to do. And I could even, you see, this is where it stops, right? I could even go ahead and just reblend this part right here. See that? I even have a little excess right here, right there. See that? If I should open this, this is what you're gonna have. So this here is even a little excess that you could even take off. You could just redraw this. And this will be the correct amount. So this is not needed anymore. Right, soulmates? So this is basically what you would do when you have drafted a bust dart. And all you have to do is cut this out and put it on your fabric, and you're going to be good. But before that, I'm going to draw my style line, because this is a dress that I'm going to actually wear. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw my style line. So soulmates, there's one more thing that you need to know, and I totally forget. When you you close the dart like that, you notice this area is so pointy. This is not how you want it. You'll have to blend soulmates this area, or else you're going to have a pointy pattern. Anything you draft is what you're going to sew. Anything, soulmates, you draft is what you're going to sew. So what you need to do is go ahead and blend this up. Do not worry about this little piece that is right here. Don't worry about that, because the only thing you need to know is that do not let this part shift. Do not take anything from this side. But this side, you could take it. You could take it from this side, because you're going to add seam allowances over here. That will, this is not even about 1/4 inch that I took off right here. See? It's not even more than 1/4 inch that I took off. That does not make a difference. The only thing you need to know is that you blend this part very well. Blend this part very well, because you're still going to add seam allowances here. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this out. Okay guys, so this is what you're going to have for your princess dart pattern. You're going to see when you sew it up that everything is going to match up perfectly. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and sew this baby. Alright guys, so I'm gonna show you how you could join, the correct way to join your princess dart after you have made it, because I know that many persons have this as a challenge. So here I have the lining pieces that I'm using. This is my lining, and this is my main fabric right here. So this is the front piece, this is my lining, this is my main fabric. So I'm gonna start with the main fabric, and what you want to do is to put right sides facing each other. So this is my right side. You're gonna start doing this from the bottom. You're gonna start doing this from the bottom of the fabric, the bottom. And what you're going to do, you're going to pin it first. If you're a beginner, I could go ahead and sew it like this. But if you're a beginner, what you want to do is to go ahead and pin it. Pin it first before you start sewing. All right? So you could start with either of these. So I'm gonna start on this side, and I'm gonna show you how you could go ahead and do this. Okay, so I'm about to show you how you could sew your princess dart. If you're a beginner, you'd want to first pin it, but all you have to do is match up the bottom. You always start with the bottom, okay? You're going to back stitch, right? Then you're going to take whatever seam allowance that you have left. I left 1/2 inch, so I'm just gonna ensure that each time I go, I'm taking 1/2 inch, okay? I'm not taking any less or any more than 1/2 inch. You can go ahead and you could mark yours. You could mark yours Okay, so you notice I reached to the part that is technical. I'm gonna leave my foot down, my thing down, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ease it in, right? I'm gonna match it up and ease it in, still taking 1/2 inch seam allowance. Put my foot down and ease it in. You could stretch this part. Yes, you can stretch this part, right? You could stretch that part, still taking my 1/2 inch, okay? And I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, guys, so this, guys, is what you're going to have after you have sewn everything. All you need to do now is notch, okay? All you're going to do now is notch. I'm just trimming away the interfacing that I have used right there. See that? So you see I started from the bottom, and this is what you're going to have. You're supposed to have this clean curve. All this needs to be done now is to cut away if you want to cut away your seam allowance, and notch and iron it. Put something underneath it and iron it. But this is what you're going to have, okay? So I hope you find this helpful. If you did, do not forget to give me a giant thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you'll be notified each time I make a video. Until we meet again, I'll see you in my next one. Bye.